There's something undeniably charming about a space that embraces the gentle wear of time, where every scratch and patina tells a story. The shabby chic aesthetic, with its celebration of imperfection and romantic nostalgia, has maintained its appeal for decades precisely because it creates homes that feel genuinely lived in and loved. At the heart of this enduring style lies antique furniture, pieces that bring authentic character, craftsmanship, and history into contemporary spaces.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Decorating with antique furniture. Shabby chic tips for a timeless, romantic look. The beauty of decorating with antiques in a shabby chic style is its accessibility and forgiving nature. Unlike pristine modern designs that highlight every imperfection, this approach celebrates the worn edges, chipped paint, and subtle asymmetry that comes with age. This style creates spaces that feel both timeless and deeply personal, allowing homeowners to curate collections that truly reflect their individual stories and tastes. Today's interpretation of shabby chic has evolved from its origins, incorporating more restraint and thoughtful curation. Modern shabby chic interiors strike a careful balance between romantic whimsy and practical livability, creating spaces that feel both dreamy and grounded. By thoughtfully integrating antique furniture with contemporary elements, you can create a home that honors the past while remaining firmly relevant in the present. 1. Blending old and new. How to style antique furniture with shabby chic accents. Statement antiques, creating focal points in modern spaces. The key to a successful shabby chic space lies in thoughtful integration of antique pieces within a contemporary context. Rather than creating a museum-like setting, aim for a curated mix where antiques add character without overwhelming the space. Consider anchoring a room with a statement antique piece, perhaps a weathered armoire or a graceful secretary desk, while keeping surrounding elements more streamlined and modern. This approach creates visual balance and ensures the space feels timeless rather than dated. Color harmony, unifying vintage and contemporary elements. Color plays a crucial role in harmonizing old and new elements. Traditional shabby chic palettes favor soft whites, creams, and pastels, which create a cohesive backdrop for diverse furniture styles. When integrating a dark wood antique into a predominantly light space, consider adding smaller wooden elements in similar tones throughout the room to create visual connections. Alternatively, painting select antique pieces in chalk paint can help them blend more seamlessly with a lighter aesthetic while preserving their distinctive shapes and details. Textile transitions, bridging centuries with fabric choices. Textiles offer another powerful way to bridge different eras and styles. Draping an antique chair with a contemporary throw, or placing modern pillows on a vintage settee creates immediate connections between old and new. Similarly, framing antique textiles such as lace or embroidery in modern frames creates art pieces that honor traditional craftsmanship while fitting comfortably in contemporary settings. These thoughtful combinations create spaces that feel collected over time, rather than purchased as matching sets. Two, soft pastels and distressed finishes, achieving the perfect vintage aesthetic. Romantic color palettes, selecting hues for authentic shabby chic. The signature palette of shabby chic design centers around soft, muted colors that evoke a sense of faded elegance. Pale pinks, powder blues, lavender, and sage green create a romantic backdrop for antique furniture, enhancing its time-worn beauty without competing for attention. These gentle hues can be introduced through wall colors, textiles, and accessories, creating a cohesive environment that feels both sophisticated and soothing. For a more contemporary interpretation, consider limiting the color palette to just 2 or 3 complementary pastels to avoid an overly sweet or cluttered appearance. Embracing imperfection, the art of authentic distressing. Distress finishes are central to the shabby chic aesthetic, celebrating the beauty of wear and imperfection. Authentic antiques often already feature natural patina and wear patterns that tell stories of their past lives. When incorporating newer pieces, look for items with thoughtfully applied distressing that mimics natural wear patterns rather than randomly applied effects. The most compelling shabby chic spaces feature a mix of wear patterns, some pieces with minimal distressing and others with more pronounced character, creating a space that feels naturally evolved rather than artificially aged. Texture and patina, mixing finishes for dimensional depth. Layering different finishes creates depth and visual interest in shabby chic interiors. Consider mixing painted pieces with natural wood, metallic elements with matte surfaces, and smooth textiles with highly textured ones. Milk paint and chalk paint are particularly well suited for achieving authentic-looking finishes on furniture, as they create a soft, velvety appearance that can be distressed to reveal layers beneath. For authentic period charm, look for original paint finishes on antiques, which often feature colors and textures that cannot be perfectly replicated with modern materials. Three, romantic elegance, using antique furniture to create a cozy, lived-in feel. Graceful curves, selecting antique silhouettes for romantic appeal. The romantic heart of shabby chic style lies in its embrace of comfort and lived-in elegance. Antique furniture, with its often generous proportions and emphasis on craftsmanship over perfect symmetry, naturally lends itself to creating inviting spaces. Look for pieces with curved lines and soft edges, a gently rounded armoire, a table with cabriole legs, or chairs with subtle scrollwork, which add graceful movement to a room. These organic shapes create a sense of flow and softness that feels both sophisticated and approachable. Intimate arrangements, creating conversation spaces with vintage furniture. Creating conversation areas with antique furniture encourages connection and intimacy. Consider arranging seating pieces at slight angles rather than in rigid, formal groupings, which instantly makes a space feel more welcoming. An antique settee paired with a couple of smaller chairs around a weathered coffee table creates a perfect nook for conversation. Adding elements at different heights, perhaps a tall secretary desk or bookcase alongside lower seating, creates visual interest while maintaining the cozy atmosphere essential to shabby chic style. Ambient illumination, vintage lighting for romantic shabby chic spaces. Lighting plays a crucial role in establishing romantic ambience. Antique chandeliers with crystal details cast beautiful patterns across walls and ceilings, while vintage table lamps with fabric shades create pools of warm, intimate light. Consider retrofitting antique light fixtures with modern wiring for safety, while preserving their original character. Candlelight remains the ultimate romantic lighting source. Incorporate antique candlesticks or lanterns throughout your space for special occasions, creating a timeless glow that enhances the patina of surrounding antiques. 4. Finding the perfect pieces. Where to source authentic antique and vintage treasures. Estate sale strategies. Discovering hidden antique gems at local sales. The hunt for the perfect antique pieces is part of the joy of creating a shabby chic home. Estate sales offer some of the best opportunities to discover unique items with authentic provenance, often at more reasonable prices than dedicated antique shops. Arrive early for the best selection, and don't hesitate to ask about the history of pieces that catch your eye. Look beyond obvious items to notice architectural elements like old doors, windows, or corbels, which can be repurposed as distinctive decorative elements. Antique market navigation. Expert tips for vintage furniture shopping. Antique markets and fairs bring together multiple vendors, offering the chance to compare pieces and negotiate prices. These events often feature dealers specializing in specific periods or items, allowing you to educate yourself while shopping. Develop relationships with dealers whose aesthetic aligns with yours. They can alert you when items matching your interests become available. When evaluating potential purchases, examine construction details like dovetail joints, hand-carved elements, and the quality of woods used, which can help authenticate period pieces. Digital treasure hunting. Finding quality antiques through online platforms. Online platforms have revolutionized antique hunting, connecting buyers with sellers worldwide. Sites like Cherish, 1stDibs, and even Etsy feature curated selections of antique and vintage pieces, often with detailed provenance information. When purchasing online, don't hesitate to request additional photos showing construction details, wear patterns, and measurements. Some online platforms offer virtual consultations where sellers can show pieces in real time before you commit to purchase. Remember that shipping costs for large antique pieces can be substantial, so factor this into your budget. Five, upcycling and DIY, transforming worn-out antiques into shabby chic masterpieces. Restoration fundamentals: assessing and preparing antiques for makeovers. Breathing new life into damaged antiques is central to the shabby chic philosophy. Before beginning any restoration project, assess whether the piece has significant historical or monetary value that might be diminished by alteration. For pieces without notable provenance, focus on structural integrity first, regluing loose joints, reinforcing wobbly legs, and addressing any functional issues that might limit usability. Minor cosmetic damage often adds to the piece's character and can be left as is, embracing the wabi-sabi aesthetic of finding beauty in imperfection. Paint transformation techniques: shabby chic finishing methods for antiques. Painting remains the most accessible way to transform antique furniture for a shabby chic scheme. Chalk paints are particularly well suited for this style, as they adhere well to most surfaces without extensive preparation and create a soft, matte finish that distresses beautifully. Consider using multiple paint layers in complementary colors that can be selectively sanded to reveal interesting patterns beneath. For a more subtle approach, try color washing techniques that allow the original wood grain to show through a translucent layer of color, creating depth and visual interest. Fabric renewals. Reupholstering vintage furniture for shabby chic appeal. Reupholstering offers another opportunity to reinvent antique seating pieces. When selecting fabrics, consider durable options like cotton duck, linen, or indoor-outdoor fabrics that withstand daily use while maintaining the shabby chic aesthetic. Vintage-inspired patterns like faded florals, ticking stripes, or toile create authentic period charm. For a contemporary twist, consider using unexpected materials, perhaps a vintage grain sack, antique linen sheets, or even patchworked remnants of old quilts that add unique character and sustainability to your restoration project. Six, floral charm and antique accents, using vintage blooms for a romantic shabby chic look. Garden-inspired arrangements, styling flowers in vintage containers. Floral elements are inseparable from the shabby chic aesthetic, bringing color, scent, and organic beauty to spaces anchored by antique furniture. Consider English garden varieties like roses, peonies, and hydrangeas, which complement the romantic feeling of antique pieces. Display these blooms in unconventional containers, perhaps a tarnished silver teapot, a weathered enamel pitcher, or a collection of mismatched vintage vases, creating arrangements that look casually gathered rather than formally arranged. For year-round appeal, high-quality silk flowers can be artfully combined with dried elements for surprisingly realistic displays. Vintage textile integration, incorporating floral fabrics into antique decor. Vintage textiles featuring floral motifs bring pattern and historical context to shabby chic interiors. Look for hand-embroidered linens, faded chintz, or delicate lace pieces that can be repurposed as table runners, pillow covers, or even framed as art. These textiles often feature craftsmanship rarely seen in contemporary pieces, adding authentic character to your space. When incorporating floral patterns, consider scale and variety. Mixing small, medium, and large-scale florals creates a collected look, especially when unified by a consistent color palette. Curated collections, displaying vintage treasures in shabby chic vignettes. The display of antique collections adds personal storytelling to shabby chic spaces. Vintage botanical prints, weathered picture frames, antique perfume bottles, or collections of hand-painted porcelain create distinctive vignettes that reflect personal interests. Arrange these collections with asymmetrical grace, perhaps clustering similar items in odd numbers or displaying them at varying heights, to create displays that feel curated rather than cluttered. These thoughtful arrangements of meaningful objects transform houses into deeply personal homes, embodying the essence of shabby chic's enduring appeal. Conclusion. Creating a shabby chic home with antique furniture is less about following strict design rules and more about cultivating an atmosphere of romantic timelessness. The most successful spaces balance authentic character with practical comfort, creating environments that feel both special and completely livable. By thoughtfully combining antique treasures with complementary elements, you create a home that honors the past while remaining distinctly your own. The enduring appeal of shabby chic lies in its gentle rebellion against perfection. In a world increasingly dominated by mass production and digital precision, there's profound comfort in spaces that celebrate the human touch, the passage of time, and the beauty of imperfection. Antique furniture, with its visible history and craftsmanship, grounds us in tangible reality and connects us to generations past. As you curate your own shabby chic space, remember that the most important element is personal meaning. The most beautiful rooms tell stories about the people who inhabit them, their travels, their heritage, their passions. By surrounding yourself with antique pieces that genuinely speak to you, regardless of their monetary value or perfect adherence to period accuracy, you create a home that feels authentic, soulful, and timelessly romantic.